Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lucid. We're hopping back into our game with Late Age Ulm. It's turn 45, and if you recall, last episode we got attacked by Erythra while we were still... Erythia, however you say that. While we were still fighting with Lemuria in a rather awkward war. And we repelled one of his smaller invasions, and we lost not much. But anyway, we lost a little bit of ground on his second invasion, and he was posturing to attack us. I didn't cover diplomacy, actually, and I want to talk about that. I want to start this episode off with talking about Erythra's decision to attack me, and we'll actually talk about it on this map. So this is actually last turns, and yeah, you can see here they attacked me and failed, and then here they attacked me and were successful. I'm going to show you the message I sent to him, too. So, I didn't do Diplo last episode. The smart move would have been to have taken the ocean and the islands as I offered. Instead, you're going to force me to focus you. With me pressuring off Lemuria to eat you, he will quickly eat Utgard and fort all his lands and remove all of the population that us living nations might ever use. Meanwhile, you could have been strong, owning the oceans and lots of the island. So you attacking me isn't terribly bad for me, except that Lemuria is going to eat Utgard faster. I can't stop them alone anyways, but good luck. Okay, so let's talk about this objectively. Obviously, I'm interested in not being double-teamed, so I have a bias in terms of the outcomes I want, but let's try to talk about this from Erythria. God, how do you say that? Erythia's perspective. So the first thing is they're attacking me when, and this is actually the biggest thing. So LA Ulm is a big cancerous nation. They are, I'm set up, I have at least as good of a position to win as Lemuria does. But I'm easier to focus down if people focus on me than Lemuria. Like if all three of these people attack me, Lemuria, Abyssea, and Erythria, I'm almost certainly gonna lose. I can't defend against that. I mean, I could, but I'd have to get really lucky. Lemuria is much, much better at turtling. So once they get really big, and they have all of this stuff, and a significant portion of the island, as well as both lakes, they will be so hard. I mean, they'll have so much free spawn. They will be so hard to take. They'll be just so hard to take. So we're both cancerous. Now, from Erythria's perspective, attacking me will potentially yield him lands, which could make him stronger, right? So there's two reasons to attack somebody. One is you want to personally gain, and the second is you want to control the game state. Like, it may be easier to attack a weaker nation, but it won't help the game state much. So, from a game state perspective, it might make sense to attack me. That would probably make a little bit more sense to attack Lemuria. However, from a personal gain perspective, it may make sense to think he'll have more to gain from attacking me and winning than he would gain from Lemuria. Okay. That said, now let's take a look at the actual decision with some of the specific details. I am in a war right now with Lemuria, and it's really me helping while Utgard is trying to defend them off, right? I'm not really at war. I'm attacking him just to try to slow down how quickly he eats Utgard. Okay. Abyssea is at war with Pythium, and Pythium's getting crushed. Now, they had a battle, if you remember last episode, where Pythium killed a bunch, even though the battle replay didn't really show it. They killed a bunch of the Abyssea stuff. So Abyssea hit a roadblock, but Pythium's down to 6-7 territories, and Abyssea's got 20-something. Pythium's gonna lose, and also it's a bad matchup for Pythium. Yeah, Pythium's gonna lose. What that means, though, is I just talked about all the players. There's nobody else to really help Erythria fight me. While I'm at war with Lemuria, Lemuria would want nothing more than for me to leave him alone while he finishes eating Utgard and forting up all his lands. That's the reason I'm attacking him. I'm not attacking him for personal gain or anything. I'm attacking him to control the game state so he doesn't get out of control, which would leave me as the big player, which is something at this point in the game I want. Okay, so Aretha attacking me. If he attacks me, I'm going to make peace with Lemuria, because it doesn't make sense for me to lose ground. I would rather have a secure border, which Lemuria would want, and attack him. What that means then is he's going to essentially be fighting me one-on-one. Aretha is about this big, right? This is all their stuff. Meanwhile, I'm at least twice their size. And I'm a blood nation, and we're well into, we're at turn 45, so this is like almost 4 years into it. Yeah. So he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose. He can win a couple big battles, and still he'll have a huge uphill climb ahead of him. Now, I'm kind of slow in research because as Alm, you used to be really fast with research as Alm because you could just build a lab and then crank out your researchers. Well, now that's cut in half. And it's to the point it makes sense to go ahead and build a fort anyway, so they don't really have a big research advantage over other nations. I mean, it's a slight one, but it's not big. And that research advantage is somewhat mitigated by the fact that a lot of the people you recruit, you're going to try to turn them into a blood economy. So, and then I pulled out a bunch of my mages to go fight. Aretha, from all reports, has not really been fighting Lemuria. I think he's been sitting inside researching, so he might have a research advantage on me, even a significant one. And that would make sense, because you can beat a bigger foe if you have more research. But I think I'm far enough along that I'm not really worried about that. I could lose a couple big battles, and I'm still gonna crush this guy. And every loss he takes is going to be so much more costly to him than every loss I take. So... but we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. The big thing is Aretha mistimed this. He should have waited for Abyssia to finish and then they could tag team me. Or he should have waited for Lemuria to finish and then they could attack me. This is just total mistiming. What I was suggesting he do, and this actually is what he should have done. Normally if you're in a game with me and I tell you should do something, I'm not really lying. I'm really telling you what I think you should do. What I told him he should do is he should come over here, and like also I've told people in games plenty of times, like, yeah, you should consider attacking me. If it makes sense to, you should, but in this case I don't think it's either good for the game state or for him personally. It's not good for the game state because this guy is a bigger threat, though I'm also a threat. It's not good for him personally because he's gonna lose in a 1v1 against me, like 90% chance. What he should have done is he should have come over here and taken this land and pushed Lemuria out of the ocean and just said, I'm going to take it. Now, these provinces here are not going to give him gem income. I mean, normal income, but they'll give some gem income, hopefully. Yeah. And it's going to just shut down a lot of the Lemurian raiding possibilities where they can potentially raid from the sea. But him coming in, and I would have even given him this throne. He could have negotiated for even Mictlan. Maybe. Yeah, probably. He could have negotiated for Mictlan's cap. I would have given him a large part of the island. I don't really want this throne. I'm not ready to win yet because I can't. I can't fight everybody. So yeah. Anyway. We'll see how it plays out. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next turn, but I thought this was a really... There's a few decisions you make that are going to have long, echoing consequences, and this decision to attack me, there was some good reason for it, like I'm a big, nasty power, and he has probably a research advantage on me, but there's a lot of reasons not to do it, which the main one is he's going to have to fight me 1v1. Okay, so that brings us to our actual turn. I'm gonna try to get 2 done this episode, so I'm gonna speed through this. We're not gonna click on every single battle. I got attacked by some Earth Elementals who have killed some of my dudes. Now, we'll watch this one because Black Priests actually have a good chance of killing Earth Elementals, because these are magic beings, and so they do get affected by, I think they're magic beings. Yeah, magic being, so they get affected by Iron Blizzard in a pretty horrible way, so we'll see if we kill him. I probably have like a 1 in 4 chance of killing these guys. Unfortunately, I'm gonna fatigue out casting useless shit. Like I'm already at 50 fatigue. Temper Flesh, no, don't self-buff, just Iron Blizzard this guy. I'm already at 72, I get basically 2 Iron Blizzard casts. No, 1. Oh, and he does Iron Darts. Yeah, this is great spellcasting AI. That's the most annoying thing about assassinations, is you have no control over what they cast. So, anyway, normally these guys do okay in assassinations. Blood economy going strong. Looks like we got less than 160. That's because I had to mobilize a bunch of people for dealing with Erythra. So if we sum this up real quick, it's about 150 probably, maybe a little less, whereas before I was getting like 175. So I've had to cut back a little bit on my blood economy. We have a bunch of battles. You can see we have a lot of battles. I'm not going to click through all these, otherwise my episodes are going to be 30 minutes for one turn, and I'm going to try to get 2 turns in. Okay, so Lemuria successfully raids me. Actually, this isn't even fun. We're not going to go through like this. I'm just going to show you battles on the map, and we'll just click through it that way. I think that'll be more fun. Okay, so he is raiding me here. Let's see with his console what happened. I've got one Forge or Black Priest, which is not going to do it here, because I'm basically going to be out of range. Yeah. If you have thugs, having them sit in the back for 5 turns is so valuable if there's enemy mages you're worried about. Anyway, that didn't work. Here was his little raiding squad. Oh, this actually is really embarrassing. I remember this battle. I'm like scarred by it. Okay, watch this. It's 1 PD. Watch this. So ridiculous. Oh my god. Okay. He runs forward. Oh wait, no, it's not this one. I thought it was this one. Oh no, it was this one. Okay, similar thing. So I'd put 1 count to repel these things, or no, to take back this land. So this guy runs forward because I didn't switch his script up. He should have sat in the back and skelly spammed, but I'm retarded. Okay, so he kills all this and everything's looking good. Let's see if... Okay, that's actually different than how it went. I think, let's check these battles out real quick. Umpholia. Okay, one of these battles actually, he got control undeaded, which means he died for good. Can't remember which one that was. And then, what was this one? Nebontia. Yeah, I think it was this one. I think he actually, because the replays are off, I think because the game version updated. Yeah, this, this guy actually is dead for good. He's not immortal because he got control undeaded before he died. But fortunately, I think one of the skeletons still killed the... Well, frick, which one is it? Oh, I don't even know. Just know that it happened. So these were... I just scripted them poorly, and I didn't take these 2. We're moving on top of here. I think it's just PD inside. Yeah, nothing there. And then here... I believe it's nothing also. Well, here he has some mages. Unfortunately, it looks like these guys are going to... No, I get a few of them. My doggies do run away. So that's fine. We're also moving to take this. We have a battle here first with Lemuria, because Lemuria was sieging this. I don't know if you remember, but I was right across the river, and then I moved into here to attack it. He only left 1 dude on top. And then Alm attacked, coming out. I think he had a... Oh, he's coming out with his priests. And Skelly Spam is pretty damn good against any kind of ranged attack, like Iron Blizzard or archers. But I have enough ground troops that they chew through it, and then they're gonna come back here and kill all this shit. It's fine by me. So that's not bad. Here, we took this. I think there was a thug here, so let's watch this. I think this was a Lemurian thug. Oh, nope, that's just PD. Utgard was gonna take this province also, so I think I ran into an Utgard thug, yeah. Now he's not sacred, and he does have a Vine Shield, so there's a good chance he could actually win. I don't have much. But it looks like we got a Paralyze off, so I'm okay. Iron Blizzard's here, not exactly what I want him to cast. If we can hit him with this Black Halberd, it's gonna do a lot of damage though. And the nice thing about when you paralyze them is their defense goes to 0, so it's a lot easier to hit. I just have to get through the Vine Shield. 16, 5, I need a couple good hits. 13, 12, okay, he's getting close to dying. Okay, yeah. Almost got him, 9. Yeah, there we go, okay. So, fortunately from that we got his gear, which we'll probably find a use for. Flesh Eater and a Vine Shield. I've also got my supply items, so you can see now I'm hardly using any supplies. And we're gonna try to siege this down. There's some good sites here. Water, Astral, and Death. And we have a battle here, so Erythria is attacking me. This is where he did his Earth attack. And he moves in with his army. Let's see what he's moving in. So he's got a big army here, and I'm glad I didn't stick anyone out to defend, because I don't think I could have killed him. He's got, it looks like, 8 communion slaves. Unless this guy's a master. No, these are all slaves. The masters are up here. And yeah, they're gonna be able to dish out a lot of pretty nasty stuff. We see astral fires coming out, magma eruption. These are all things that will destroy my dudes. And let's see what kind of gems they have. This one's got fire gems, so he can do flaming arrows or fire elementals. This one's got air gems, so he can drop all sorts of air nastiness. Yeah, okay. So that's basically that. And then this guy did not, I put a vampire trap, if you recall from last episode here. He did not move into it, instead he attacked this, which I had stripped out. This should just be 10 PD. Yeah. So anyway, there's nothing there. He attacked here, and I've just got a vampire trap here. Meanwhile, so, okay, let's go through my plan now. My plan is I fixed my scripting on my vampires to not suck, so now they're gonna do Horde of Skeletons and then attack. Really, I should just have them cast spells if I'm expecting only PD. I don't really want them attacking at all. So I haven't totally fixed it, but at least it's not freaking horrible like it was before. Before I had them on the Control Undead script to try to steal that guy. We're going to continue. I think I have 2. Yeah, I have 2 Mind Hunters now. So we're going to try to nail this guy. Yeah, and we're gonna take this stuff back. And if this guy lives, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, we're in Magic Dominion, so he's got reduced magic resistance, and then I've got 2 people casting it with magic penetration. You know, it totally should happen. Okay, what else? Okay, so I'm moving in vampires. Here are the guys that's coming in. I've made some super combatant-esque, okay, not super combatant, some really strong vampires to try to kill them. They've got shields and armor and boots and a burning pearl and anti-magic, and I'm hoping they can just, I think I have 2 of them, and I'm hoping they can just sit back here and kill everybody. This one has slightly better gear and a golden hopline, and so they've got fire resistance. One of the problems is some of these guys have magic resistance, and it didn't exactly occur to me when I was setting up this order that they do. And the guys with magic resistance, and then there's enough spell power back here that basically they'll still be able to probably pop my vampire dudes. So that was probably a bad idea, but we'll see how it plays out next turn. Like, these guys all have magic weapons, so they'll go through invulnerability, and then the armor I have won't be sufficient. Yeah. Anyway, probably not a good idea. What would have been good is to use these guys and send them over here, because this army has very little mage support, and does not have magic weapons. So vampires will be very good against them, but are not as good against these guys. especially once I get in melee. What else? For events, let's check out. Okay, I think that's about it. None of these forts are popped yet. I haven't popped that one, haven't popped that one. This one's not popped. I think I'll pop this one in a turn or two. If we look at the fort messages, the walls are moderately damaged. I think that means like 30% damage-ish. The walls are moderately damaged, 30%-ish. Oh, we have... Okay, they have breached this in one turn, which is unfortunate. It would be good, and probably if I get this back, I should put another fort on it, like a better upgrade, because this doesn't allow me much flexibility. They popped it, and now I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? What else? One more fort. Did I go through all my forts? Okay, it looks like... Yeah, it looks like they're all moderately damaged. Okay. So we've got a lot more work to do on the forts. We're kind of split up. We're sieging 4 forts at once. That's not something you usually want to do. It's better to kind of concentrate forces and take them one at a time. But I can't quite do that. And wolves make sieging much more efficient. That's kind of one of the main reasons I did wolf spam, is so that if I end up relying more on vampires and things like that, I still have ways to break through forts that I don't really, you know, it's not expensive chaff. It's really, 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 really cheap chaff. So that is it for this turn. And I think that's it. I'm also starting to negotiate with Lemuria at this point to try to get a peace. And I think we can talk about that, because I think by the time I do this next turn, which I'm gonna go ahead and do, it's gonna be a long episode, guys, sorry, but I'm gonna do more than one turn an episode. By this turn, I actually negotiate a peace with Lemuria. Okay, so I had sent Lemuria that message, which I showed you at the beginning of this episode. Last turn he received it, and he sent this reply, and this turn I get his reply. It says, "The smart move is to take land that will actually strengthen me. The island and ocean are worthless. Lemurian's dominion has already run its course. I suppose I could throw away my troops taking fortified, unsupplied, guarded by hordes of undead, and I'm sure that I could even gain some ground, but there's no profit to be had. Plus, I'll admit my scouting is not extensive, but based on what I see, you and Utgard have Lemuria on the run. It certainly didn't take long for you to get him out of Mictlan." Okay, well, so his scouting network is really bad, because let's look at it. First, I didn't get him out of Mictlan. Utgard did. And then Utgard only... Lemuria still had a foothold and was raiding all up through the ocean. But the only way he was able to do that... well, he stopped doing that once I basically attacked him, and he realized he didn't have enough resources, so then he pushed back. But to say we have Lemuria on the run basically means he has no scouts in this part of the map, because if he has seen any of the battles for the past, like, 8 turns, he would know that Lemuria is far from on the run, but instead has won almost every tactical combat against Utgard, has taken several forts, and within the next 4 or 5 turns will probably take all of the land. And that's basically what I sent him in this message. If you think Utgard and I have Lemuria on the run, then no offense, but your scouting network must be horrible. Lemuria is going to have all of Utgard's lands forted up and producing ghosts within the next 7 turns. He'll probably have Utterdark and Burden of Time up in the next 15 to 20 turns. So I hope your all units like fighting in the dark with minus 90% income. And Utterdark is the game-winning spell for all of the pop kill nations. It will work less well on Abyssia and myself, since we have a blood economy which can keep us going. Abyssia's blood economy somewhat relies on mages, so his is more fragile. My blood economy relies on blood summons, so I'm less vulnerable to Utterdark. But I still really, really like all of my income. And I'm not going to be able to... I'm basically going to be a blood-only, heavily crippled Olm if he gets Utterdark up. Burden of Time also. These things... Lemuria is not going to cast them while he's worried about everybody else, but as soon as he gets Utterdark... Basically, Alt 9 is good game for Lemuria. There's a good chance he's going to win the game when he gets Alt 9. Anyway. So you can't, if you're a living nation, especially if you're Erythrea, you cannot allow pop kill nations like these guys to have any significant standing going into the late game. You're often gonna lose. Because if they have enough gem income, unless you have like Arcane Nexus up or something. I mean, you have to have a really strong plan to deal with these if you allow a large pop kill nation to make it into the late game. Because Underdark will just wreck you. And it's highly likely that between all of us, we can't pool enough gems to keep Underdark down. If Lemuria is really focused on it, he'll probably have 40 plus death income a turn. And then I say, you know, while you had a good couple rounds, I think the odds of you coming out ahead from fighting me are still pretty low. But good luck. I look forward to more battles. Anyway. So it makes sense. He could get money from attacking me, but no, he's gonna get wrecked in the long run. And if not by me, then by Lemuria. You cannot allow I love playing Lemuria. I've played them in quite a few blitzes now, and I've played them in one Dom 4 game and also in one Dom 5 game, which hopefully you watch because I'm putting it up on YouTube. They're super fun to play, but they're really and they're not as strong as Airmore, but they're cancerous. They're cancerous almost more than Airmore. And you cannot allow them into turn 70. Like, turn 70 in a game, they're going to be so hard to fight. So hard. Alm's hard to fight, too. But anyway. But Alm is not going to put up Underdark, which is basically going to end the game for everybody who's not pop kill or super deep into blood. So that is the one redeeming thing about fighting Alm, even though they're very strong, is they're not going to do Underdark. And if you're playing Lemuria, you'll say, hey, I would never do Underdark, because then you guys would all attack me and I would lose. Except Lemuria will always do Underdark when the game goes late enough, because once they do it, they're going to win. And so why would you not cast it? You save up turns or gems for a year, you put 400 gems in Underdark, and it's kind of good game. Anyway, spend so much time talking about diplomacy. Okay, we cast Dispel, by the way. I didn't mention that last time, but we did it. He had Earthblood Deepwell up, and I took it down because he's Earth attacking me, and he decided to attack me, so screw him. I think I only put like 60 gems into it total, so it was an overcast to 30. Most of the time when people put up the gem generating globals, they're not overcasting it by too much. So those are probably the easiest globals to predict in terms of how many gems to put in it to take them down. Okay, so this turn. We see the Lemurian army coming up here. They're attacking Ulm. They've got 3 consuls. We'll see what gear they have. This is just a little bit of PD. He's got these guys in a line formation. I actually prefer sparse line, but a water dude probably to do Grip of the Winter, which is quite good. A Death 4 to do Darkness and Rigor Mortis. And then this one probably to do Wailing Winds, but we won't see it. Anyway, scary, scary army. And this turn I actually negotiate peace. What I tell Lemuria is this, or this is what I didn't tell. This is the agreement we came to. He does want to have time to focus and eat Utgard, because Utgard's being played by, for those of you who watch the Airmore game, your favorite Squid player, he subbed in to play for the falling Utgard and try to hold on. He subbed in before the situation was quite so dire, though he did walk into a bad basket of goods. And anyway, since he has had the reins, he's actually put on a very, very good defense with a shoestring budget. But anyway, the player playing Lemuria wants to focus down here and eat everybody up. And so he is very happy to make peace with me. What we decided is he will get this part of the island. He wants these. I'm going to take these, and I think this, though we haven't fully negotiated that. The throne, I don't get. He's gonna get. And I'm very close. I'm kind of close to a throne victory, so he obviously doesn't want me to have it, and I don't particularly want to have it because I don't think I can close on a throne victory before, I would get ganged up on. And then I get the island north of here. So it's actually a pretty good land grab for me. I'm going to get all this shit if I can take it, and then he's going to get all of this. And we agreed that the non-aggression pact would end after a year. or with 3 turns notice. So that's kind of what it is. He also gets the small island. So we're both gonna be just phenomenally big. He's gonna have all of this forted. All of this. I don't know if it's possible for Lemuria to lose a game with that many forts up. But if there's any nation that can kill them when they do it, it's going to be me. And we'll see. Actually, him being big, I want to be careful about how much I take from him. Him being big actually is going to help me get an ally. I would love to have Abyssia or Erythrea help me attack Lemuria. But it's very unclear how the late game will play out. It could be we're all 3 fighting each other, or it could be where it's like 2v1. And if it's 2v1, I don't want to be the one. Okay, we found a magic site too. Enchanted Field, so it's an Astral 1 site. It's right here. And we're gonna search this also for nature. Wait, where the hell? Oh, she found it. Oh, I think it was here. Where the hell did we find that? Where's that site? Enchanted Field. Waywood. Where the hell was that? Oh, that's here. Okay, we found it here. There was a battle and she retreated. And then she's here, which is actually nice. Saves me a turn of movement. So she's gonna site search here. There was some raiding that went on this turn. Lemuria was attacking me, and this is the last turn of attacks. After I think when this turn posted, we went and made truce. And I had basically stopped a lot of his raiders. My mind hunts were not successful. He got so freaking lucky. Worm Feast resisted. Where's the other one? I got Lazulus, which is a scout that he had underneath him. Anyway, I think that was the guy carrying the Banefire charm, or the Bane Venom charm. So that's annoying. I'm sure he is not interested in having these thugs walk around and get soul slayed, because they will be dead for 6 months if I kill them, and they'll lose all their gear. So he knows that that kind of isn't going to work. I'm going to be taking this back with just wolf groups because we've negotiated peace. Otherwise, I would send a bigger army. I probably should have sent them up here to take this a little faster. Okay, we wait inside there. Oh, let's watch this. So this is where I sent in... this actually is a pretty important battle. So here I sent in these vampires. And of course I didn't even put them in the right tiles. Like this guy should have been back here. And we see flaming arrows coming back. And you can see he just gets demolished. Okay, if we look at everything that got cast. First, he's got Fog Warriors up. He's got Mass Flight. And he's got Flaming Arrows. So those are all things we thought he might cast, and he did cast them, and they freaking hurt. And so now, if we look at this guy, he's got 31 protection against Mundane, which is pretty damn good. Regeneration, he's got all of these resistances, Blunt/Pierce. He's Ethereal. Looks like he might be able to do it. So let's put this in slow motion and just see what kind of happens here. Unfortunately, we have Flying Water Elementals, which scare the living shit out of me. But, okay, then we have these guys, who I think they had like a delayed attack order. But they also have Pearl Weapons, and if they get in and start smacking me, it's not gonna be good. So you can see this theoretically could work. We're kind of holding on here. I also have pretty good fire resistance, so the flaming arrows don't do so much. If I had Soul Vortex, I think this would have worked. But I don't. So anyway, that is how that ends. And if we also have so he also storms my fort because my fort was cracked. And here's what I've got. I've got these guys who are basically going to power up and do Iron Blizzards. And so the good thing about my my earlier attack is that I got through a lot of his gems. But I just don't have enough to hold the line while these guys pummel in. And then most of my guys have routed now. So yeah, this is not good. We've got Gifts of Heaven coming down. Those are those big meteors. And he took some losses, but that was not a good trade for me. So if we look at the Greenwoods where we had this big battle, I lost my 2 thugs. He lost half of his dudes, and a lot of these are pretty valuable. He lost his mystics. So he doesn't have this superpower communion anymore in this particular province, but I lost more. A lot of these were wolves, so in terms of troop losses, he probably took more than me in terms of money. But mage losses, I took more than him. I lost 1 of these guys, 8 of these. He lost 8 of these guys. So kind of an equal trade, but he also got my fort, which was giving me air income and other things. So this is not good, because this is going to be a really hard army to deal with. Basically, he can also put up Arrowfin too. So it's going to be very hard for me to deal with crossbows. Wolves are going to do nothing to these odd, mist-formed dudes. So I'm a bit stuck with traditional tactics. I'm going to lose a traditional one-on battle. I have to figure out something else to do. And this army here did not move. I had my vampire trap here and it didn't work. So anyway, he's sitting here and I'm a bit annoyed because he's not, I moved these guys into attack from here to here and he didn't take my bait. Instead, he just moved backwards. And I think there was a battle here I think I sent 1 vampire here. And this 1 vampire is obviously going to get crushed by those guys. We're not even going to watch. So the attack will continue. I'm going to rush in. Now, here's the setup I have. We'll see if this works or not. And I don't actually remember if this works. I've got this guy here. This is, if you play LA Ulm, this is how you want to set up your defense. Because you're, in general for, and I'll show you this actually before we get to that specific case. Okay, this is, in my opinion, okay, ignore the fact that I'm shuffling everybody around. These guys are getting called in to raid, but pretend I hadn't. Anyway, this is your prototypical PD for a blood hunting province. And this is also what I'm gonna use in this attack, but I'm gonna show you this in this context because this is how I like to use it. You're gonna have 1 of these members of the 2nd tier, you're gonna put them in the back left corner, and then you're gonna put 2 of your vampires on them, on that same square. Now they're all size 2. How you're going to script this guy is Body Ethereal, Cheat Fate, and then you can have him do something else, and then potentially retreat or cast spells. It doesn't matter. If you think you're going to lose, you can have him retreat. If you think you'll win, you can have him cast spells. These guys get scripted Skeletal Body, Horde of Skeletons, Reinvigoration, Horde of Skeletons, and then Attack. What this will do, this first salvo will, especially for the counts, will use up all of their fatigue. The reinvigoration will top them up, and then they'll run it. They'll cast Horde of Skeletons 1 more time, be at about 40 fatigue, and then run into combat. And they'll get rid of that 40 fatigue pretty quickly. But they're gonna be Body Ethereal. So if they're getting attacked by somebody without magic weapons, they're gonna have to go through Body Ethereal and through Invulnerability. And then they're going to be resistant to all the types of magic damage. They're really hard to kill by normal weapons. If they do have magic weapons, you'll see you die, but you will have a skeleton screen out in front. So, pretty effective. We're going to be doing this in mass, attacking them. And we're going to add on top of it, we have this guy here who's going to do Strength of Giants on top of all the vampires, hopefully. What that will do is give them more life drain attack, significantly more, especially when you consider this is armor piercing. So more attack is going to give you significantly more damage when you're fighting armored units. He's going to cast Iron Blizzards a couple times. We have 2 people, I believe, or maybe even 3. 2 people who are going to be spamming Body Ethereal. This guy's going to spam it twice, and then he's going to put anti-magic up. This guy is going to do it 4 times, and then he's going to retreat, and all of that should cover all of my little tiles of vampires. And so that's the idea. We're going to make a swarm of skeletons. We're going to get them all buffed up with our fluffers, and then the vampires are going to run in amongst the skeletons and hopefully kill everybody. That is the plan. Don't know if it will work. Should work, because these guys don't have magic weapons or anything like that, so we'll see. But I'm thinking, okay, what are the moves this army could do? This army could move here, or it could move here. If this army moves here, which is possible, I might as well fight them with bigger, cooler shit. So I'm going to take all of my troops, which I've been massing here, to prevent him from potentially sieging this fort. And I've got a lot of, if you look at it, I've got a lot of archers and then some Zweihanders, and we're going to move them all in here. And the formation they're going to be in is I've got the archers basically up at the front. I've got the Zweihanders here. I've got 20 PD, which is a pretty good bit, so it's going to be an additional screen. If he moves here, he'll get first move, so he'll end up fighting the vampires that I have here, which are these. And then all this army that I'm moving in with flaming arrows. Meanwhile, the guys that I have moving in here will attack. I don't even know how many there are. Okay, I've got 5 dudes that are going to move in here from my capital. So if he moves here, I'll have 5 of them come in and attack, and that should be enough to take PD. So actually the best thing for me would be if he attacks here, and then I'll cut off his retreat route. But I'm also fine if he doesn't move and like patrols and then I attack him. The best move for him would be if he attacks here, because that's the one move I'm not expecting because he hasn't moved here before. But we'll see. So he took a costly kind of win here, and I'm not going to try to take it from him. In fact, this army scares the shit out of me. With Mass Flight and Mistform, I don't have anything to efficiently deal with that at the moment. I'm just going to dodge it. One thing that will be really good is if I get Darkness. That will help a lot. So that I actually made a detour, or I'm going to make a detour. I'm going to hit Blood 7 to get my Vampire Lords, because it's really hard to cast Darkness without them. Because I really need a Vampire Lord with a Skull Staff to get Darkness off. So I have to hit Blood 7 first, but then I'm going to rush up to Alt 7. And Alt 6, that's where Darkness is. And when I have that, I will probably have the tools to fight this army, but until I have it, I'm going to kind of dodge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send these guys into raid. This is the script I'm giving them. And I think that's about it. So now it's really just a matter, I want to finish sieging these forts before Lemuria finishes with Utgard. And then I want to get this army just totally off the table and then threaten Erythra up here and figure out a way to kill this army. But I don't particularly want to fight them with the traditional army now. I might try some conniving tactics in the next couple episodes, but I do not want to fight them with my main army. That Fog Warriors and Mass Flight scares the shit out of me. So, that is a very long episode. We're at 42 minutes. It might be the longest episode I've ever recorded, and it's only 2 turns. So you can see this game is getting quite intense, but I'm trying to keep you up on all the juicy details without getting too sucked into the weeds. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you next time.